Okay, we're going to do the visual data tools, and this time we're going to do the line chart. This is going to be a standalone line chart in the scene, meaning that we're not going to use any external data. We're just going to set this up with the tools within Vizrt Artist for using the data that you input through the scene here. And to start, what we're going to do is go into our built-ins, and to start, what we can do is just drag this window out here. It'll let us see it a little bit better. We're going to go into the built-ins, into the geometry plugins, into the visual data tools folder on the left here, and we're going to drag the line chart up. Now when we do that, we don't see anything because we don't have anything inputting yet. So we need to go to another plugin here. We're going to go into the container plugins, and at the very bottom there's a visual data tools folder in there as well. We're going to use this data storage and drag that up onto our line chart as well. So as you guessed, the line chart will allow us to create different types of line charts. And you'll see once we start adding data, the different options for it. So first, what we want to do is come into our data storage, and first we want to set our shared memory from inactive to scene. Now we need to make up our data points here. So first, I want to make up my X variables or my X data. These are the things that are going to make up the X line points going across. So we can just come in and randomly type in some numbers here. I'm going to go up by tens, and I'm going to separate everything by commas. So we'll just do that there. We'll come down to key data 2, and we're going to give it a name. I'm going to give it a name data Y, since this is going to be the Y data that we're going to use within our scene. We're going to click on our data 2 here, and again we're just going to randomly fill in some numbers. We'll just go up by tens again, and however you want to do it, if you want to keep going up or go down, you can. So we're randomly just typing in various numbers there. That's enough. We're going to keep that as is for now. Now we're going to jump over into the line chart plugin, and within the line chart plugin we have our first selection here, which is our shared memory. It's inactive by default. We're going to go ahead and turn that to scene. And you can see when we do that, that it's already receiving the data that we typed in within the data storage. From here, we can even manipulate it further. For example, we have our specific X values. If we want to use that, we can. We have our data X here that we can type in. And this data X is now coming from our data X over on this side as well. So this name matches the name within our specific X values, data X. So we have our key data Y here. So this name needs to match with our data storage key data Y there. We have our data delimiter, which is a comma. So we make sure that that's filled out within this line chart here. Now, like previous ones, you have your data X fit and your data Y fit. So you can clamp these or make sure that these are always going to fit by setting specific values on the Y and also on the X. Depending, again, how many data points you have and things like this, you may need to stretch it out or crunch it together a little bit to fit all on the screen. So we'll turn these off. And then farther down we have our line type. And here we have a linear, which it is set to by default. We can also go to spline, and we also have a constrained spline. Each one of these will give us different options, as well as you can see when you change it, some of the options down here change as well. So now that it's set to linear, we can change our width, and we have an option for our thickness and our depth as well. There's also a tessellation and a tessellation depth. Now again, you can come over to your server and further add any type of colors or materials to this if you want. So we can drag a material onto that to give it some shading, and if you can also use your position, rotation, and scaling within the transformation axis editor here. So now you can see some of the depth within our line chart as we rotate this around a little bit. If you come back into the line chart, if we change this to a spline, we get different options down here again, and kind of changes it to more of a smooth spline line chart. So again, we have our thickness and our tessellation here to adjust it. So farther down within the plugin, we also have other things such as bevel. So we could bevel this, and you have your bevel steps and bevel sizes. You again have the pointer, which will allow us to create a pointer for this particular line chart. And then also we have, of course, our stop and start point here. So we could keyframe this if we wanted to animate this on with it. If you want to add more points in here, you just come into your data X and your data Y, and you can add more variables and help it spread out here. So that's the line chart, just using it as a standalone visual data tool. If you need to make any type of line chart, you can certainly use this to recreate or manipulate it. Next tutorial will show you how to do this using an Excel sheet and linking the Excel sheet data to fill out this line chart.